What's going on, everyone? We're checking out Dangerville's video. This the Marshall's too powerful for Godzilla and Kong to defeat. What Marshall is he talking about? Let's go ahead and find out.
The MonsterVerse is no stranger to powerful titans and monsters, and one of the very first of these powerhouses were the Skullcrawlers.
Yeah.
And
but
now we get to see what one of these savage, starving beasts would become if allowed to evolve to a form many times more powerful than we have seen the species reach in the MonsterVerse. Remember how it seemed pretty clear that the big one, aka Ramarok, or the big cheese of the Skullcrawlers from Skull Island had bit the dust? Yeah, Godzilla has some epic fatalities in this series, but you can't deny this isn't in the running for the best kill yet in the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
After a lifetime of prowling Skull Island and the Hollow Earth, the menace had finally met its end. Now what I'm going to talk about next is not full canon, but what happens could be...
Okay, before we get some the rest of that, but the director for the new Godzilla Kong movie is coming. If you were watching this video, please talk to Legendary, talk to Warner Brothers, please have them invite me. Because at least I would to the premiere. I don't care if I get invited to the after party. I really don't care. But I honestly give my opinion on movies and TV shows on the film, and that's it. But also, if you're also watching this, I want bring back the Kiss of Death. Like, that shit was fucking dope. Not only that, when Godzilla, like old school, 2014 Godzilla, when you hear Godzilla moving around, like Godzilla approaching, moving around, and he's have that back. Like, that shit was pretty dope. Like, it gave me chills. Like, oh shit, we need that back.
Argue is authentic enough to at least be considered very soft canon. That, of course, is what happens in Godzilla vs. Kong vs. the Justice League.
I still need this
comic. This series brings to life what could happen to a Skullcrawler if it reached its final form, the Skull Devil. In this video, we're going to go over how the big one was brought back from the dead and then mutated into this hulking form that needed the combined efforts of both the titans of the MonsterVerse and the heroes of the Justice League to bring it down. It's big, powerful, and nasty, and I can't wait to share it with you all.
That's what
this
she said.
Is Jacob, and welcome to Dangerville. To first find out how this very dead titan was brought back to life, we have to get a quick recap on the basis of this crossover done. The MonsterVerse and the Justice League have their universes slammed together, and in short, some wacky multiverse stuff happens that more or less combines Earth and both universes into one. Parts of the Justice League world fused with parts of the MonsterVerse, like Skull Island. Here, Green Arrow is finding out just how tough this island can be. Quick side note here, take a look at these rhino beasts. These are what appears to be a new species to the MonsterVerse, maybe something we'll get to learn more on in Season 2 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Don't get your hopes up. Back to the story now, Green Arrow is having a real hard time. Dealing with criminals is one thing, but these animals, even the small ones, were deadly. But it wasn't just the Green Arrow who was on Skull Island, but also the League of Assassins. Side note again, these guys are your stereotypical ninja-like group of bad guys led by a semi-insane sorcerer type guy, Ra's al Ghul. This dude's hundreds of...
I'll get to this one thing about my character. Fire Arrow is nothing like the Green Arrow or any of the Arrow franchises or characters, and he's not a Hawkeye character or any Hawkeye variants. Fire Arrow again is also half mutant, half human. He's poor becomes rich. He's not only that, but he is way beyond smarter than anyone that's ever created. Not only that, he has a different personality, and he actually cares for the people, not this just pow, this fuck everyone up, you know. But that's what the whole point of my Calico File LO is, that he is nothing like the DC Calico and all that.
Years old thanks to a special substance that comes from Lazarus pits, and this will play a big part in the Big One's resurrection. The League of Assassins had somehow gained control of the skull left behind by Ragnarok, and with it, a devious plan was put in motion. They were to transport the skull across the planet to a mega Lazarus pit. Like, seriously, is this a volcano? Now, sadly, we never get to see the process of the skull actually regrowing flesh and a body. But we do get an epic showdown between a Lex Luthor-controlled Mechagodzilla, the Titans, and the heroes of the Justice League. And then finally, we see the Lazarus pits work firsthand in the form of the Skull Devil. The effects of the pit did more than just bring it back to life. It mutated it to a hellish form that was epic,
big
to say the
for
least.
next movie.
This thing would rival the strengths of Shimo, if not surpassing them.
Oh,
least
shit,
physically. The Skull
powerful
Devil is
shield.
massive, with
Yeah.
no official
This
size
probably could
being
be next
given,
one.
but with plenty of reference images to go off of, we can make some guesstimates. Side note, just like most comic or cartoon series, the monsters' sizes are inconsistent throughout the scenes of this comic. But for the sake of simplicity, let's say the monsters retain their sizes from the MonsterVerse. And with that, we can see that the Skull Devil towers over all of them, even Mechagodzilla. And yeah, that's a Batman Jaeger.
Yeah, that's not what's
The
that.
Skull Devil appears to be larger than even Shimo, who is the largest seen and still alive Titan in the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
So based on Shimo's size, the Skull Devil is over 162 meters or 500 feet tall, and probably pushing 1,000 feet long. Appearance-wise, the Skull Devil retains the classic Skullcrawler look. 2 forelimbs with one giant head at the front, and a body that slowly reached out to a tail with no back limbs. But these features were now accompanied by thick armor plating made from dense Titan bone, and razor-sharp spikes and edges that worked as both offensive and defensive tools. It's honestly one of the coolest designs you can think of for a mega Skullcrawler, and I'd like to see this sort of creativity in the MonsterVerse going forward with its villain design, outside of the comics. But beyond those upgrades, there doesn't appear to be any new special powers that the Skull Devil can wield. Just brute force and aggression. And it seems like many of the Big One's old Kong killing techniques were also retained with the Resurrection. But with them, also some of the same weaknesses that we will get to soon. Epic fatality foreshadowing moment there, if you get me. With an army of Skullcrawlers, the Skull Devil and Mechagodzilla attacked Godzilla and Kong, while the Justice League members were also busy at work trying to manage it all. The Skull Devil singled out Kong in this battle. This is likely due to the beast still having some sort of memory of their prior meeting, and it wanted payback. But this could have also been the natural instinct of this creature desiring Kong flesh that forced its attack. And Kong did all he could to handle this onslaught, but he was outmatched, overpowered. And just like in their last face-off, the Skull Devil wrapped its tail around Kong's throat and began to squeeze. But then, the most unlikely of things happens. The green power ring of DC lore placed itself on the giant hairy finger of Kong, and he summoned, you guessed it, his reliable axe. And with one clean strike, Kong hews the Skull Devil's tail, releasing himself from its grasp. Green Lantern Kong, that's a win in my book. With the Skull Devil now on a pain rampage, backup had finally arrived. Godzilla with Superman burst into action. Damn, this is awesome.
That's a
The two
sick
aimed
shot.
their powerful beam strikes at the back of the Skull Devil's neck.
Damn.
And together they drilled through its thick hide to reveal an opening. A weakness. Something Kong takes advantage of, and with a perfectly placed strike, drops the axe on the back of the Skull Devil's neck, obliterating its spine, killing it once again. And that's that. Poor old Ragnarok, even with energy levels over 9,000, was put down again. Overall, the brief but exciting debut and exit of the Skull Devil was a hit in my eyes. This monster was amazingly designed, easily one of the most simple yet badass designs of any MonsterVerse themed creature. Sometimes these simpler, more old school designs just look way better than when the artists try to make the most wacky and bizarre thing ever. Armor-plated, spiky reptile monsters will always be an easy win in design choice.
Yeah.
Let me know if you agree. The Skull Devil was
I agree.
easily comparable with Shima when it comes to physicality, as it took the combined efforts of some of the strongest fictional characters of all time to bring it down. And if the Skull Devil and Godzilla were to throw down 1v1, it would have been a bloody battle for sure. Residents, the Skull Devil, ain't she a beauty? As always, this has been Jacob, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Alright, that's it. Yeah, I totally forgot. Skull Devil. Yeah, the way how you pronounce it, and the way how the story is going for the next Godzilla X Kong movie, I could actually see this being the villain. I ain't gonna lie, I could, like, just take out these sequels, but I could see Skull Devil being the villain. It's now I'm thinking it's gonna be Skull Devil, Mega King Ghidorah, Mega Muto, Muto Prime, Muscle X, or someone in Muscle. But hey, I guess we'll find out soon. Make sure to subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys the next time. Peace.